Let's dive right into this explainer and explore the ancient psychological armor that powerful people use to remain completely unshakable in a highly toxic digital world. Because let's be honest, we live in an era where everyone is hyper-connected and unfortunately hyper-reactive. Every single day, we're bombarded with criticism, perceived slights, and digital noise that practically begs us to be outraged. But today, we're going to look at exactly how to master your reactions and fiercely protect your peace using timeless wisdom.
Imagine someone walks up to you right now and just hands you a piece of burning coal. Do you catch it? Do you hold on to it, letting it sear your skin just to prove how tough you are? No way, right? You'd drop it instantly. Or, better yet, you'd never reach out to take it in the first place. But strangely enough, we do the exact opposite with toxic comments and insults. We grab onto those burning words, we hold them tight, and we let them burn us from the inside out. Think about what actually happens when someone questions your competence or leaves a nasty comment. Instantly, your blood boils, your chest tightens. In the microsecond you fire back a defensive text or launch into an argument, you validate that insult. You didn't just accept the burning coal, you literally let a complete stranger take the remote control of your mind and dictate your emotional state. You handed over your power. There's a really stark contrast between how modern algorithms want us to behave and the quiet, dominant power of the Stoic mindset. We are practically engineered by our social feeds to be the chronic arguer, always outrage, treating speed as a virtue, rushing to defend our honor at every single turn. But if you look closely, does that chronic arguer actually look powerful? Or do they look fragile, kind of like a puppet whose strings are pulled by anyone with a keyboard? The Stoic, on the other hand, represents true emotional sovereignty. They own their mind. This idea perfectly captures the strategy of the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. I mean, this was a man who literally ruled the known world. He faced daily betrayals, political backstabbing, public slander, the whole shebang. Yet in his private journals, he wasn't plotting petty vengeance. He wrote down this profound truth instead, completely refusing to lower himself to the level of his attackers. He understood that his immediate reaction was a cage, and deliberate silence was the key to his freedom. So let's get into lesson 1, the cognitive spacer. Building your psychological armor starts right here, by establishing a gap between stimulus and response. I want you to really think about what an insult actually is, physically speaking. When a harsh word hits your ears, it's just acoustic data. It's literally just sound waves moving through the air, or pixels lighting up on a screen. It has absolutely zero inherent power to harm you. The cognitive spacer is that intentional gap that stops you from immediately translating those random sound waves into a catastrophic threat to your ego. It gives you a crucial second to see reality. The slave-turned-philosopher Epictetus really hit the nail on the head with this. He lived a life of immense hardship, yet he realized that his captors could bind his body, but they could never, ever force his mind to feel insulted. Your opinion is literally the only thing that gives an insult its fangs. If you withhold that opinion, the insult just starves. Okay, let's put this into practice right now with something called the 3-second rule. When you feel that familiar sting of disrespect, force a physical pause. Step 1, take a deep breath. Step 2, count to 3 in your head. And step 3, do not speak. And whatever you do, step away from the keyboard. By following these 3 simple steps, your primitive emotional brain steps down, your rational mind steps up, and you beautifully shift from an impulsive reactor to a calm observer. Moving right along to lesson 2, performing an ego autopsy. The great statesman Seneca asks us to clinically dissect an insult rather than run from it. So why does an insult hurt? Usually it's because it threatens our ego. But let's break this down logically. If someone criticizes you and the insult is actually true, say they call you lazy and, well, you know you've been slacking, there's no need to be angry at reality. The truth shouldn't offend you. It should guide you. Just strip away the emotion, take the lesson, and use it as harsh fuel to get better. But what if it's not true? If the insult is completely false, it's merely a reflection of their own flawed perception. Think about it. If a blind man walked up to you and angrily insisted that the sky is green, would you scream back at him? No, of course not. You'd feel a sort of detached compassion for his lack of sight. Treat the insults of the ignorant exactly the same way. There is zero logical reason to be angry at someone else's blindness. And that brings us to lesson 3, the weapon of absolute silence. We've created space, we've analyzed the ego, and now we choose our response, or rather, our lack of one. There is a profound difference between being silenced and choosing silence. You see, the person insulting you is actually begging for your anger to validate their relevance. Weakness babbles. It defends itself constantly. It screams to be understood. Power, on the other hand, just observes. It remains perfectly still. By choosing absolute silence, you actively deny them the satisfaction of an echo. You show them, undeniably, that they cannot move you. Consider this amazing historical anecdote. Marcus Aurelius was once publicly insulted in Rome by a cynical philosopher. As emperor, Marcus could have literally ended the man's life with a flick of his wrist. But he didn't banish him. He didn't even argue back. He simply listened in absolute terrifying calmness, turned his back, and walked away to do his work. By offering complete silence to his public attacker, Marcus Aurelius demonstrated that the man's words simply lacked the weight to even register on his radar. That, my friends, is true power. As we slow down and look at the bigger picture across all these lessons, we have to realize something incredibly profound. Your mind is a sanctuary. It's a fortress. And in this chaotic, noisy world, our peace of mind is truly the only thing we actually own and have total control over. Everything else can be taken from us. Consider the absolute briefness of your existence. You and I have only a finite number of heartbeats left on this earth. Time is ticking away ruthlessly, second by second. You are far too vast, and your purpose in life is far too grand to let some miserable stranger ruin a single hour of your day just because they typed a few mean words. Your time is entirely too valuable to spend in the gutter with them.
Which brings us to our ultimate takeaway. The walls of your mind are impenetrable from the outside. The only way the enemy gets in is if you voluntarily unlock the gates and invite them in through your reactions. When you completely refuse to react, you choose absolute freedom. You let the insults fall harmlessly to the ground, just like autumn leaves blowing against solid stone. You might feel the wind, but the stone remains unshaken. Building this kind of mental toughness is a daily practice, not just an overnight switch. So I want to leave you with this. I want you to comment the phrase, "I control my reactions," down below as a literal contract with yourself right now. And I want you to genuinely ask yourself today as you navigate your life, are you going to continue handing the remote control of your mind over to strangers, remaining enslaved to their triggers, or will you choose absolute emotional freedom?